Laboratory safety precautions. Scientific investigations and explorations are carried out in a science laboratory, or science lab for short, a special space built to hold the chemicals, tools, and equipment needed for experiments. The exact design of a lab changes depending on what kind of work it is made for. There are speech labs, computer labs, and general science labs. And whenever we talk about a laboratory here, we mean one used for science experiments. A science laboratory is often called the scientist's haven for exploring and investigating the wonders of science. In school, the laboratory is where you run meaningful experiments to understand new ideas, practice what you have learned, and build your skills. Working in the lab helps you learn how to think scientifically, get hands-on practice, and grow your interest in science. It is also important to remember that science is not limited to a single room. Your home, your neighborhood, and the natural world around you can all be thought of as laboratories where you can observe and learn. No matter where or what you study, safety rules and precautions must always be followed to keep yourself and others safe. Laboratory safety is everyone's responsibility. Anyone working in the lab must stay safe at all times and follow these rules every time you do experiments. 1. Always follow your teacher's instructions exactly. 2. Never run any experiment that your teacher has not approved or assigned. 3. Know exactly where all safety items are kept: the first aid kit, fire alarm, fire extinguishers, sandbox, and eye wash station. 4. Put on and use the right safety gear when needed, such as a lab coat, gloves, closed-toe shoes, and safety goggles. 5. Treat every chemical as dangerous. Never touch, smell, or taste any substance unless your teacher tells you it is safe to do so. 6. Do not eat, drink, or bring food or drinks into the laboratory. 7. Read and understand every label on chemicals and equipment before you use them. 8. Identify all substances you will use in your experiment and read the material safety data sheet to learn the correct safety steps for handling each one. 9. Check the condition of all tools and lab equipment before you use them. 10. Tell your teacher and the laboratory technician right away if you get hurt or if an accident happens. 11. Learn exactly what you should do if there is an accident in the lab. 12. Pay full attention to your work. Do not play or do anything unrelated to your experiment inside the laboratory. 13. Dispose of all waste the right way. Never throw anything down the sink unless your teacher says you may do so. 14. Do not put unused chemicals back into their original containers, as this can spoil or contaminate the whole supply. 15. When you are heating something, keep any flammable materials far away from the flame or heat source. 16. Never walk away while glassware is being heated or while a chemical reaction is running. 17. Always use a test tube holder or tongs when holding or moving heated equipment or glassware. 18. Keep your workspace clean and neat at all times. 19. Turn off all electrical devices and close gas outlets as soon as you finish your experiment. Laboratory safety symbols. Safety symbols are words, signs, or pictures placed on items or areas where safety rules must be followed. They are used to mark dangerous chemicals. The United Nations created the Globally Harmonized System, or GHS, to make these labels the same everywhere, and this system is now used in the Philippines and many other countries. Here are the standard symbols and what they mean. Explosive shows materials that may explode. Irritant shows substances that can hurt your skin, eyes, or breathing. Compressed gas shows pressurized gases such as liquid nitrogen or ammonia. Flammable shows substances that catch fire or burn easily when exposed to air, water, or an open flame. Corrosive shows substances that damage living tissue and can eat away some metals. Health hazard shows substances that may cause cancer or harm organs after long-term exposure. Oxidizers shows chemicals that help other materials burn more strongly. Acute toxicity shows poisons or strong acids that cause serious harm very quickly. Environmental hazard shows substances that are poisonous to water-dwelling animals. Trivia: fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers are used to put out small fires, and they are made for different types of fires. Class A: fires in ordinary things like paper, wood, cardboard, or plastic. Class B: Fires in flammable liquids like paint thinner, cooking oil, gasoline, or kerosene. Class C. Fires involving electrical equipment. Class D. Fires from reactive metals like sodium, magnesium, or potassium. There are also special symbols that mark where safety equipment is kept in the laboratory. First aid. This symbol shows where the first aid kit is located. Eye wash station. This marks the station used to flush out or neutralize chemicals that get into your eyes. Shower station. This shows where the emergency shower is placed, used to wash off large splashes, spills, or put out flames on clothing. Fire extinguisher. This points to the location of the fire extinguisher for any fire emergency. Fire blanket. This marks where the fire blanket is kept, which can be used to smother small fires or wrap around someone whose clothes are on fire. Common laboratory apparatuses and their uses. A science laboratory is a purpose-built space where students carry out experiments. It is fitted with tools like test tubes, beakers, and graduated cylinders, though exact equipment may vary depending on whether the lab is for general science, biology, chemistry, physics, or another field. Knowing what each tool does helps you work efficiently and safely. 1. Alcohol lamp. Produces a yellow, luminous flame for heating during experiments. 2. Analytical balance. A very precise instrument used to measure mass accurately. It has a draft shield and pan to hold the item being weighed. 3. Beaker. Has a spout around the rim for easy pouring. Used for mixing, holding, or heating chemicals. 4. Bunsen burner. Creates both a bright yellow luminous flame and a hot blue non-luminous flame. You adjust the air regulator to change the flame type. Closing the regulator produces incomplete combustion and a yellow flame. 5. Clay triangle. Made of ceramic or porcelain with wire supports. It sits on a ring stand to hold a crucible over a Bunsen burner or alcohol lamp. 6. Crucible. A small ceramic or porcelain container with a lid, used to heat substances to very high temperatures. 7. Dropper. A glass or plastic tube with a rubber bulb at one end, used to draw up and release small amounts of liquid one drop at a time. 8. Erlenmeyer flask. A cone-shaped flask with a narrow neck. Used for mixing, swirling, or holding chemicals, and is often used as a receiver in titration. 9. Evaporating dish. A porcelain dish used to heat solids or liquids and separate dissolved materials through evaporation. This process works by heating a liquid until it turns to gas, leaving dissolved solids behind. 10. Funnel. Made of glass, stainless steel, or plastic, with a wide top and narrow bottom. Used to guide liquids or powders into small openings. 11. Graduated cylinder. A tall, narrow glass cylinder marked with measurement lines, used to measure the volume of liquids. 12. Iron stand and ring. A tall metal rod attached to a heavy base, with an iron ring or clamp fixed to it. Used to support setups for 3 common processes: evaporation, filtration, and titration. Filtration separates suspended solids from a liquid by passing the mixture through filter paper or another porous material. Titration is a chemical analysis method where a solution of known concentration is added to another solution until a reaction finishes, often used to find unknown concentrations. 13. Spatula. Made of ceramic or stainless steel. Used to scoop or transfer solid chemicals from their containers. 14. Stirring rod. A glass rod used to mix or stir chemicals and liquids. 15. Test tube. A thin glass tube with a rounded bottom, used to hold small amounts of a substance. 16. Test tube holder. A gripping tool used to hold test tubes while they are being heated. 17. Triple beam balance. A weighing device with 3 sliding beams, a rider, and a pan where you place the item to be weighed. 18. Tripod. A 3-legged metal stand used to support other equipment during heating. 19. Volumetric flask. A round flask with a flat base, long narrow neck, and special cap. Used to measure and prepare exact volumes of liquids. 20. Wire gauze. A fine woven mesh with a ceramic or asbestos center. Placed between a heat source and glassware to spread heat evenly and prevent direct contact with the flame.